So I'm so sorry for your loss. I'm so sorry to hear about your loss. I'm sorry for your loss. If you've lost someone, you've probably heard that over and over and over again. Specifically from the long list of phone calls that you have to make to every company, bank, everything, right? All the things. Every time I call, I'm so sorry for your loss. And it's not wrong. It's absolutely appropriate. And it's absolutely kind. I've said it myself many times over the years, and this is not a complaint, but it's an observation. I made another call this week, and I had a very different experience, and it really opened my eyes to this is what I need. So if you're brand new here, welcome. My name is Patty. I am recently retired and even more recently widowed. I've been walking through grief. I lost my husband about 4 months ago now. And so I'm just kind of sharing my journey and sharing how God gets me through life. So if you're back again, welcome back, and thank you all for being here. I appreciate you so much, and I hope that you find value and a reason to want to stick around. So I made a call this week, and to be honest, I'm not even sure. Probably at the very beginning of the call, he probably said, "I'm sorry for your loss." I couldn't tell you because what he did say after that overshadowed. So, going through, you have to share a lot of information, get everything squared away. And he knew that my husband was a veteran. And he said, "I want to thank you for your husband's service to our country." And I said what my husband would have said. I said, well, he would have said, "You're worth it." And he was kind of chuckled, and he said, "What?" And I said, that's what he always told. Whenever anyone said, "Thank you for your service," he always said, "You're worth it." He would take their hand, shake it, and say, "You're worth it." And he was like, "I like that. I really like that. I'm going to steal that." And that just, sorry, it's driving me nuts that I dropped something. It just really, I can't even explain what that did to my heart. That I got a chance to share that, and it was something my husband always said, and I got to share it, and he loved it. And he was another service member, and I'm going to steal that. And it just, it made me happy. Super helpful young man. I don't know how young he is, but I'm assuming he's younger than me, but walked me through this whole process, really patient with me. And in the course of this, he asked, "If you don't mind, can I ask how long you were married?" And I told him just over 40 years. And he said, "Wow." He's like, "That's a long time." And I was like, "Yep." It was a good one. And he was like, "What's your secret?" And I said, "Well, loving the other person more than we love than you love yourself. And he said, oh, that's good. And I said, and we made a commitment early on that it was forever, no matter what. And there was some rough parts, but we had decided that it was forever, and we were committed to that, and we got through them. And he's like, I was just gonna say I think the key is that commitment. And he asked me a couple more questions, and I just walked away from that phone call feeling so encouraged, because a complete stranger, somebody I'll probably never talk to again, got like this little glimpse of my husband and who he was. He wasn't just my loss, because he's not. And again, I fully appreciate, it's the thing we've all been taught to say, right? I'm so sorry for your loss. And I know people mean it. I mean it. I've meant it when I've said it. But here's the deal. My husband was an amazing man. He was incredibly smart, so funny. Like, that's how he won me over, was because he was so funny. Well, and handsome. And he aged like fine wine. He just got better and better with the years, and he became a better dad. The older he got, he was this super fun, engaged papa. When our oldest grandkids were little, he was down on the floor, playing with them. And even when his body wouldn't allow him to do that anymore, when the next round of grad kids came, he was still engaged with them, doing projects and cracking jokes. And he had this witty sarcasm, and he would, some of them just gravitated to it, and they played off of each other, and others, it's like he pushed them. And I think he grew them because of that. And he was so adventurous, and there were so many things he wanted to do, and his body just gave out on him much too soon. He was in a motorcycle crash when he was 24 years old, and that was the start of just everything. Went downhill from there. He had chronic pain, chronic disease, so many challenges. But that man always made me smile. He made me laugh. He loved me with such a Christ-like love. And he left a huge, huge hole in all of our world. So while I appreciate when you say, I'm so sorry for your loss, what I realized is I just want to talk about who he was. I want you to know how special and how amazing he was. And I think any of us feel that way that have lost someone. I know for me, as a consumer, so to speak, it's totally changed how And I've lost. I mean, I've lost my parents, I've lost my in-laws, lost grandparents, so it's not like I'm brand new to this. But I think the closer, the more love you have. No, that's not even a great description. I don't even know. It hits hard. This hits hard for me, losing the love of my life. And it's made me hyper aware of like what this loss has hit me harder than any other loss ever has. And it's made me very aware, hyper aware of what's helpful, what's not, how to navigate getting through it. And so I know for me, going forward, I realized, that's really what it is. It's not a loss. They were our husband or our wife, our father or our mother, our daughters, our sons, our child, our grandchild, our grandparent. They were somebody so real in our life that we loved so much, and we have stories that we want to share about them. We want to talk about them. We don't want them to just be a loss. So this is not a rant. It's an observation, and for me, a notation to myself moving forward when others have a loss. I know sometimes it can feel awkward and you don't know what to say, so you don't say anything, or you just say I'm so sorry for your loss. Ask us about them. We want to talk about them. We love them and we miss them and we want to talk about them. And if we don't, our tears will shut it down, or we'll just politely say, thank you so much. I appreciate that. But most of the time, I think we want to talk about them. We want you to know what we know about them. We want them to still be alive in some small way. So, ask us a question about them. What do you miss the most? What did you love the most about them? What will you never forget about them? We want to talk about them. Thanks so much for hanging out, and have a beautiful rest of your day.